We're live. We live?
Awesome.
I think
Yeah,
we're live.
it says we're live. It's our first time doing
We
this.
are live.
This is our first time doing this. This is pretty cool. We're looking like professionals. I want to thank everybody for showing up all around the world. This is our usual town hall time. I feel, who's getting an echo? Am I the only one hearing that? Cool.
Yeah, I hear
Never mind. Things are
No, I
working
hear that.
again. First time, expect some technical difficulties, but thanks for joining for the ride, guys. So I'm Jay. Some of you probably know me, but I'm going to talk first today. I guess we'll talk about a little bit of updates, what's coming next. Why does that keep happening?
Should we mute ourselves?
Probably. Or if someone has the YouTube open, that's probably also why it's doing it. Cool. We're going to talk about what's coming up next, what we've been doing over the last month, a little bit of state of the game sneak peeks from Benjamin himself. If you've been creeping around DNA channels or some of the other, I think if you landed in general too, you've been seeing some sneak peeks of pets and mini games and all sorts of things coming up. That's one of the main reasons we did this live on video this time. And then we will close out with Kevin and Albert talking through Litepaper updates, and we'll be making a bunch of changes to Litepaper ahead of the launch of the game, all in good faith of building a great, fun, sustainable game. And we'll save the latter half of the call for questions. There's a lot of questions that came through on Town Hall, in the Town Hall Questions channel over the last few days, as well as coming in live now on YouTube. Guys, if you have questions, want to get them in there, drop some questions in. I already see Dragonville in the questions, comments on YouTube, of course. Can't have a town hall without shouting out Dragonville. So with that, what's been going on? Over the last month or so, since we had a town hall, we've been revving up private beta testing a lot. We're close to about 10,000 users in private beta now across both iOS and Android. Thank you, Al, for your help and support. We've seen a lot of great feedback coming in, both on how to improve the game and obviously some of the issues that we've been resolving on a regular basis. If you're in there now on the Android side, you've seen it on the Play Store. For iOS, we are still on test flight, but updates are coming there soon, and continue to stay active in the private beta channel. Last week, we attended Consensus. Consensus is CoinDesk's large crypto conference of the year. We were invited to speak on 2 panels and host a booth in the Metaverse Zone alongside some other cool projects like Nifty Island, who we're working. We announced working with as well, and Sandbox. The 2 panels we spoke on, Kevin did one on Web3 gaming alongside Darren from Vayner Sports, Gary V's Vayner team. And two of the guilds we're working with as well, Breeder DAO and Ola GG. I don't think we got a public recording there yet, but as soon as we do, we'll definitely share it. It was a really great talk on how to build the future of Web3 gaming, make sure games are fun. How do you make them sustainable, of course, is what everybody's talking about. But one of the most exciting things about being at Consensus was our booth had a fun kind of experience minting babies. Those of you that have one have seen it. But we put it up on a big screen TV in the booth. We had almost 1,000 people come through and try minting out a baby. Something crazy, like 1 per minute was signing up. It was really exciting to see, both some of the old OG Genovians and new faces at Consensus that were learning about the project, speaking to, kind of getting to know and really getting excited for meeting their baby Genopet for the first time. Definitely a lot of positive feedback with people going through the onboarding experience, how seamless it was to download the app and how cool and fun it looked. It was really great to be in front of future players. Other things that have been happening. We're probably three weeks or so into staking now. There's about 680 something thousand genes staked. I think we've distributed just about 65,000 gene and rewards. That's a huge percentage. Last we checked, I think over 25% of all gene holding wallets staking. Albert, correct me if I'm wrong there. I'm pretty sure that's pretty close. The rewards distributed obviously come in gene token, but a lot of really great game benefits as well. Things like the in-game bonuses and of course the key token airdrop that's going to come to the gene stakers. Other than that, coming up as well, habitat minting we just announced will end on Monday before the key token launch, and of course key token launch is at 1500 Monday. So this same time, but on Monday will be that launch. You guys have probably seen the tokenomics and announcements around key. The biggest things I think just to know, there'll be 20 million key tokens available. We're also airdropping 20 million to the gene stakers, and we'll provide 20 million for protocol designated liquidity. Important that everyone understands that the money raised from this launch is going directly to liquidity. So it's not a fundraising event. It's actually for essentially starting the liquidity of key ahead of the game. Anything else you wanted to add there around that one, Albert? I know that's a passion point for you.
No, I mean, I want to just go back to staking because it's actually exactly a month.
Exactly a month.
Yeah, because some people are already unstaking. People who stake for a month can withdraw pretty soon. So,
restake before the airdrop.
yeah. So, yeah, I mean that's about it. The snapshot will be taken on gene staking wallets tomorrow. So
yes.
be on the lookout for that.
18th at 11:59. 11:59, I think we said PM. UTC.
Yep.
Awesome. So I guess the last thing you've seen, kind of our roadmap to key conversion in game. Launching key is the next big one, but coming up after that will be the habitat management portal. That's where you'll be harvesting key and crafting crystals and doing all those things. Look out for updates on habitat management right after key. We are just around the corner. Guys, don't forget, we are streaming live on YouTube. If you haven't seen the Genopets YouTube channel, get over there and subscribe. How do they do that? Hit subscribe.
Yeah. We don't have this.
I'm new to being a streamer, guys. I'm sorry. There's like a button that you're supposed to click for that, and then you can smash the like and drop your comments. What's up?
Yeah, smash the likes. Is what I said.
Isn't that what they usually
Jay,
say?
you got to get your influence game up, man.
I'm out of the game, man. It's been a long time since I've been a food influencer. For those of you,
take the like button out for a walk and gently give it a pat on the head. That's what you're.
It's not a Genopet, bro. It's a like button. You got to smash it.
It's a theme. Metaphors, man. Metaphors.
Sorry, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. I think it's time to just show people fun things and get to going. Key token Monday, 8 a.m. Or 8 a.m. Pacific, 1500 UTC. See you guys there. I think it's up to Ben now to guide our destiny into the Genoverse.
Oh boy. All right.
Oh boy. This is what everyone actually came for. All the things I told them they already knew. They're like, why is Jay still talking?
All right. Alexis, let me know when you guys can see my screen.
Your screen is up.
All right. We are up. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the State of the Game, June 17th, 2022. We got quite a lot to go through today, and I am going to go to the next slide. I'm going to show you a lot of things today. Some of you have seen some of these things, most of you have not, and so I hope you guys enjoy what I have to show you. First and foremost, we've been working on Genopets, obviously. That's the name of our game. And I'd love to show you today all the different stages that we have available. We have stage 1 Genopets. We have stage 2 Genopets. Stage 3 Genopets. Stage 4, which is all out there already. And we have stage 5 Genopets. But other than just slides, I would like to show you couple more. So here's some babies. It's brought us immense joy to just build these. These are some more stage 2s for you to feast your eyes on. And these, of course, are 1 and 2 of millions, I think, minimum hundreds of thousands, if not millions of permutations of these pets that you guys will be able to create on your own. These are stage 3. And
I know we had a
4.
Twitter poll on this. Was it yesterday or the day before? Where everyone was guessing and they couldn't quite land. There's a lot of competition between 2 and 3. So I guess the
A
answer's
lot
out
of
there
people
now.
guess correctly though. They're like, it must be the young Genopet.
The young Genopet.
It's young.
No, I love that. Dude, they're so cute. Honestly, I can't decide. Like the stage 4 looks sick, but the stage 2 is like the stage 2 is like a little bit more grown up. The baby looks like a bow, which is obviously cute, but like when you get to the baby, you're like, or the young,
This is
the stage 2.
Boy, all grown up.
Yeah, Chalky Boy, all grown up. Well, almost all grown up. So this only goes up to stage 5. And whenever people see stage 5 pets, are like, oh wow, what's stage 12 gonna look like? Well, we have a lot more coming. So I did want to show you guys something that is alive, fully animated. So all the stages are fully animated and they're fully customizable. And so this is a stage 5 pet. This happens to be my favorite color combination. But
really,
yeah,
this is a pretty uncommon color combination, I think. So,
it
like,
is.
copper.
It makes me sad that I don't see more of these out there. But eventually, you guys will be able to get your colors of choice through some hoops that you have to hop through. But I'm really excited to see how people go about customizing their own pets and seeing what is out there. So aside from hundreds, maybe probably thousands of hours of putting these Genopets together, we've also at the same time been making items and augments. Because of course, what's the point of having a pet if you can't do things with it and customize it, make your own? And I want to take this opportunity to kind of give you guys a little bit of a behind the scenes look at what it takes to build an augment. And we start really like anything, any idea, we put it down on paper and pencil. And then we have to go and think about it from a 3D perspective. And then from there, we vectorize it. And we think about where to put the colors, the primary, the secondary, where we're going to put the lights. And then we kind of go back and sometimes redo it. But then once we get to a certain stage, we're able to ortho it and then bring it into 3D. And then finally, we have an actual model that we can put on to the pet. And we do this for every single augment, every single item, every single head and body of all the pets for all 12 stages. So just so you guys get an understanding, because this doesn't get said enough, like in order to do, we, as you guys know, 12 stages of pets is really crazy. And that's for, 9 different combinations for each. So that's at least 81. And then all the augments that have to be 12 stages for every single augment that we design. And we go through this process for every single one. So this is an example of a wing that we drew, and then that's what it looks like on the pet. So we're creating these sort of sets of augments that have themes to them. So if you're into more of a mech look, there's augments for that. And here's another set. We kind of went with a little more of a dinosaur vibe, and now that's in 3D. So now these are augments that you're going to have to craft. Not going to be so easy for you to get these just by chance. So good luck with that. And we'll talk more about that a little bit later. And ultimately, this is how you will be seeing all these augments on the marketplace in their full 3D glory. And hopefully you guys are going to have a lot of fun window shopping and maybe regular shopping too. Aside from augments, we also have toys, because as some of you may know, Genopets are pets that you'll be able to play with. So again, I'm going to show you kind of the process of how we start going through this. We have a vague idea, we sketch it out, and then from there we make that sketch even better. And then from there we go through some iterations, and we start with a basic 2D thing, and we kind of enhance that a little bit. And then we enhance it a little more. Now we kind of know what textures and material and shaders we want to use. And then from there we go into full 3D, and then we make it even better. And so this is a sample of a toy that you'll be able to play, to throw and play fetch with your pet. And then, of course, pets need to be fed. And so we have food for those as well.
Was that a carrot?
And that was a carrot.
I was waiting for you to say when the carrot. Dude, this is the first time we've shown
one
the carrot.
This is the carrot.
One carrot. One carrot, dude. I love the carrot.
And here's
play
just
one of those carrot videos again. That's too crazy.
A sneak peek at some of the augments, the other styles that we're doing. Here's a more like flowery style, more sharp and angular. These are some eyes. And so, like I said, we have to design them from stage 1 all the way to stage 12. Big shout out at this time to Julia and Chris on our team, who are absolutely phenomenal artists and have been just churning these out and making incredible art that is really exciting. I can't wait for you guys to experience all of this. And some crazy poisonous looking augments there. So that's augments. Moving on to
Dragonville has a question.
Dragon has a question.
If he feeds enough carrots to his Genopet, can it become 22 karat gold?
What? Isn't it 24 karat gold?
I don't know.
There's so many. You know what, Dragonville? For you, maybe. Well, actually, that's a really good segue, because we have now implemented the textures for when, as promised, when you apply a Genotype crystal to your pet, it will become that element. So maybe if you feed enough carrots, we can turn it gold as an, I don't know, maybe, I don't know. It'd be interesting.
It's got to turn straight up orange, dude. Like
yeah, you just become too orange. Only Dragonville's pet will turn orange spontaneously when it's fed too many carrots. So that is an example of the texture there. You can turn it into wood type and metal type. So there's that. So that's genotypes. So here are the augments. And other than that, we have some mystery boxes. I would tell you more about the mystery boxes, but if I did, they wouldn't really be a mystery now, would they? So I'll have to leave that one to Jay. He can choose when he wants to tell you more about that. Terraform seeds, we have 6 grades of them now, and I'd like to think that they are looking pretty edible, but I do not advise you to do that. And here are some actual edible things. Aside from that, game design. I'm going to speed this up a little bit. Aside from feeding and playing with your pet, of course, the most important thing that you'll be able to do with your pet is pet it. And so here we've got our animation of being able to pet your pet on the home screen by rubbing your finger on it, and it will give you love hearts, and that will be fed into your mood meter. Over the months, we've been working on our feeding and feeding and fetch games. This is a very, very early version. So I hope we can all share in the memory of how bad this is right now, so that someday when you see how it actually is, it'll be a nice nostalgic moment. But this is some behind the scenes look of us testing and making sure that it's fun and the interactions are smooth and whatnot. That ultimately lands us something closer to this. And we have these rings, we have our scenes, and this is still work in production. Big disclaimer for everything you're going to see today is that everything is in development. We are incrementally improving everything that we're doing here. We also have our pet expressions. So your pet will have emotions. This one's a little frustrated. This one's a little embarrassed. This one's really embarrassed. This one loves you. This one's very surprised. And we fully model them out in 3D, and they will be able to express different things depending on what you do or don't do with your pet. Then we have UX and UI design. So here is what it looks like to go from your pet detail to choosing to play fetch and choosing a toy you want to play with, and then going to play the game. And I'll show you a little bit of what this looks like in animated. So we, over time, will be increasing the fidelity of the UI. The whole idea behind this has been it's always just been a dream of mine. Watching Minority Report and so many other science fiction movies and seeing how cool their HUDs are. I guess I'm a nerd. Whenever I watch a movie, I'm looking at the screens. And so I really wanted to create a UI that made you feel like you're in the future and really give you that Tamagotchi in the year 2022 vibe. So I'm going for that. And aside from playing fetch, you can also play feed games with your pet, and then augmentation is in development as well. And then last but not least is being able to see your habitat in the app. So being able to see it.
Can we get some like button smashing for anybody that likes anything Ben is sharing right now? Like, guys, this is what you're supposed to do on YouTube streams. I feel like we also need background music next time. All the epic music you were producing, Ben, like it would put the whole thing on another level. Guys, this is our first live stream. Please bear with us. If you have suggestions on how to improve the production quality of our stream, open to feedback. Appreciate your support.
Almost near the end, yes, absolutely. We will have music, and I can't show you a lot of the sound and music we've been working on. I didn't set that one up, but a lot of sounds will be coming as well. In the narrative side, we've been working hard on the story. We've been working on characters. Some of you have heard a little bit about that. I don't want to share too much or give away too much on the narrative, but I'm very excited about the story that we're telling. And this is a peek early concept work of one of the key characters in the story. His name is Kairos, and you'll learn more about it later. Partnerships are very exciting right now. I'm very, very excited about our partnership with Chapter X, who's doing incredible work. Here we go. If you guys have been dying to experience playing with your Genopet, Chapter X has a place for you to be able to load up your avatar and hop into their metaverse and run around with a Genopet. If there's something worth liking or smashing the like button for, I guess it would be this.
Right? So I think it was like a month or two ago. Yeah. We first announced we were partnering with Moonverse, who rebranded Chapter X on making like an open world mini game. This is their game, just FYI, guys. Like their game. It's an open world metaverse. They work with a bunch of different projects. These the idea here is they took a bunch of Genopets lore and art and characters, obviously, and put them into their world. So we'll be opening this up. I don't know exactly when, but relatively soon.
Soon is the word.
As a perk for Genesis Genopet holders, though, this will be a gated experience for Genesis Genopet owners to be able to come play and explore. Multiple pets will be able to be in here. There's like chat functions and talking to each other. So think of it like a I forgot what the Oculus thing is. But yeah, it's like one of those open worlds that you can hang out with your Genopets and explore and hang out together in the first look of Esoterra.
Yeah. And just to look back a little bit at all the things we've done since we last spoke, we now have baby minting in the app as well as on the website. And that is really fun and exciting. We obviously released our habitats, and we did release staking, I said earlier. And then we did go to consensus, which I wish we could show you videos of the hologram that we had, but the camera doesn't catch it right because it uses this really fast fan. But in person, it's just this floating Genopet in the air. And I'll let Jay rage more about that later on. But we signed about, what is it, a person a minute during the time.
Yeah, it was like almost 1,000 people, person per minute. We had a never-ending line. Like we didn't have a huge booth. Like we actually didn't even spend any money on the event, except to get this little stand with the TV. But the line behind those people basically didn't end for 2 days of everyone dying to play Genopets. Pretty exciting stuff. Really appreciate all the support, and I know we met at least a few of you out there who made it. What's our next big event we're going to be at? I think we're TBD.
I'm going to speak at the IVS conference in Okinawa, Japan.
All the Japanese Genopets fans out there. If you're going to Okinawa for the IVS crypto conference, you'd be able to see Albert IRL.
Yeah, and if there's anywhere you guys want us to go to, comment in the chat box and let us know.
That should do.
Absolute last but not least, that was it for everything that we've done so far. I did just want to share this one tiny little teaser. Battle design is well underway. There's a
It
lot
all
of thinking
starts
in there.
as a PowerPoint slide.
It all starts as a
What
PowerPoint
is
slide.
battle? Ben doesn't sleep for a few nights in a row. He dreams up a battle system. We wake up in the morning to a shared document, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, he figured out battle."
You just said go to Austin, Texas.
Wait, guys, we were just in Austin.
Well, I wasn't. That's where consensus was.
Oh, look, you can bring the question on the screen. That's cool. Mr. Marcus, I hope you didn't miss consensus last week. It was like 20,000 crypto people in Austin. Cool.
Thank you.
Up next,
That's it.
thank you, Ben, for the state of the game and showing us all the goodies. That dude deserves some raise.
Who deserves a raise?
Don't give him
Ben? Ben? No, Ben's not getting a raise.
Give yourself a raise.
Sorry. Keep saying it, guys.
Keep saying it, guys. More key tokens. We pay Ben in key tokens, so make sure the price is.
Just give me hearts. Just send me hearts. I'm powered
Awesome.
by hearts.
So up next, Kevin, I think this is the first time you have joined us on a town hall. We've been seeing a lot more of your words and work in the community, obviously, as one of the guiding voices behind our Litepaper. I forgot what's your Discord handle again? You should put it there instead.
It's Sajang. I'm not as talkative as some, but yeah, you'll find me.
For the Korean channel out there, I know they found it and they're like, "Who's the Genopets guy who has boss as his?"
I originally picked it from a gaming perspective, but it worked out nicely for my career too.
That's awesome. Cool. So Kevin and Albert are going to take us through what's been happening with the Litepaper, some of the inspiration behind game design, and then we'll dive into questions. So bring in the good questions, guys, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. So I don't have any beautiful slides prepared like Ben. Usually, what I'm surrounded by is very dry documentation. However, if you want to follow along with generally what I'm going to be talking about over the next few minutes, you can just go to Litepaper, L-I-T-E paper. .genopets.me and refer to the changelog section. So we've made some, we've been releasing updates pretty steadily over the past few weeks. I think we just want to acknowledge and thank the community for their patience. This is kind of part of what this journey is going to be like, designing out in the open with you guys, interacting with you guys, taking that feedback and actually, plugging it right back in, or at least considering it deeply, working it into our design decisions. This is just what it's going to be like as we continue to strive for a better and better game. I'll start with key harvesting and earning. I know that's on people's minds. With the latest update, we've increased daily key harvesting caps for level 1 and level 2 habitats. This was based on community feedback, and just at a high level, we wanted to make the L1 habitat a way for players to dip their toe into the economy side of the game. And the increased daily harvesting cap should give these L1 holders more opportunities to engage in things like crafting and trading and actually getting to play that part of the game with a more reasonable 90-day payback period. So we did also raise the upgrade costs for level 2 and level 3, but I think the reasoning there is that now that L1 habitats themselves, the entry point, have more runway, we wanted to smooth out the rest of the progression between the habitat levels. So yes, if you want to just completely max out your harvesting power, you would be leveling up and connecting habitats as quickly as possible. But for players who aren't interested in that or don't have the resources to take that approach, I think with the latest update, each level of habitat development should be its own sort of experience, that it should provide enough opportunity and good game content as well. We'll do questions at the end. Let me just go through some of the points. I think there was also some feedback or concerns around initial key supply. We have our key launch coming up early next week. is this something that can be perfectly predicted? I'm afraid not. But just to give you some high level benchmarks, we think we're going to need around 128 million key in order for all guild habitats to be fully upgraded. So for them to achieve their maximum earning power, we think that's about how much key is going to be needed. So already there is demand that we expect right from the front gate. Of course, we're balancing that against the fact that those same habitats are going to start emitting immediately, and the gross harvesting emissions that we're looking at over the first even 30 days is going to inject a lot of supply into the market as well. So hard to say exactly where we'll land, but we feel pretty comfortable with the numbers that we've landed on. And of course, you guys know no one pays more attention to this stuff than Albert, and he'll make sure we're responding in real time if we need to. All right, habitat management. Just outside of key harvesting, there was some feedback on revival costs, so I'll just address that quickly. The intent with the revival costs is to keep them equal or proportional to what we would consider the total upfront startup cost of a habitat in key. So the cost of a grade 1 terraform seed activation cost plus the upgrade cost, if you want to look at the total upfront startup costs of a level 2 or level 3. But in this way, actually, so if you think about it in that way, because it's the grade 1 of a terraform, since the revival cost is fixed, maybe you're actually getting a better deal on your revival cost, right, as you keep reviving. But anyway, besides that, the point is we want buying and reviving to be neutral, and then the earnings you generate in between should be where you find your value. Excuse me while a printer goes off in the background. Okay, and then finally, crafting. So excited to be able to share some of that upcoming crafting system with you guys. Crafting is hugely important to our game design. It's central to the health and growth of the virtual economy that we're trying to build. A lot of what Ben showed today is literally what we want players to be able to craft and personalize and modify to their taste and use it to really take their Genopets to the next level. We've released the first part of a new how it works section that's under the crafting mechanics alchemy section. We'll be adding to that extensively in the weeks and months to come. Items, there's a couple things that we've released today. Just wanted to give you guys a sense of how we're thinking about classification and how items will generally work within a broader framework. So there's 5 known types: a base, reagent, cosmetic, augment, and battle. And of these, we're excited about all of them, but super excited about augments because those are sort of the swappable body parts that will allow players to truly personalize and customize. And then there's rarity, which just denotes rarity, right? So there's a quality component and there's a quantity component. The quality component means that if it's a type of item that comes with stats or has effects, the rare items are going to be better with that. They're going to be stronger or just have more beneficial effects. And then the quantity aspect just means that there's just fewer of the rarer ones. Mythic in particular, Ben was like super insistent there had to be a class of item where there's literally just one. I'm sure that will be really fun out in the marketplace, but we'll see what happens. That's all I had prepared in terms of like the key points from the latest update. I'll pause here. Maybe Albert wants to add some more stuff. Apart from that, happy to take questions when it's the time.
Yeah, I think we can go ahead and take some questions. I did want to just like drive this point home, which is, we are in one of the worst financial markets in recent years, and we are very cognizant of that. And we want to make sure that our game is as sustainable as possible. And every decision that we make is for that purpose. Now, last week we came out with a Litepaper that was very, very conservative. And after talking to a lot of people in our community, we decided that it was very hard to progress for somebody who has a level 1 habitat. So then we've made these adjustments. And I've seen a lot of people say, hey, what's in it for like Genesis habitat owners? Well, if you look at the most recent numbers, it's at level 1, you get 10 extra key cap a day. which is 33% boost. This is a 3x boost from the previous numbers. So I think we can't predict the rest. We can only put the pieces of the puzzles there and then start it and see what happens. Obviously, this is a living document. The Genopets organization is a decentralized organization governed by the gene token. So later on, these are parameters that can be decided from by the community as well. But we need a place to start. So
and just on that Genesis point, I'll just add, like, the ability to mint crystals of any element is, in my opinion, the most underrated part. And with the crafting system to come, you will see how underrated it is at this moment. Of course, we can't really get into it because it's still to come, but there's a lot of layers to the Genesis that I think people are not noticing right now.
I honestly, when crafting and like what are all the things I can craft is something I ask every single day. And we're getting so close. I'm super excited for it. But to double tap on that one is like, you're gonna need to have crystals of all the types. So if you have a Genesis habitat and you can make crystals of all the types, then you already have a massive leg up over somebody that has to go market buy those crystals or acquire 5 different habitats to get all the different types. I think that was like from the very beginning, one of the first things that we said that the habitats were going to do to really separate them, because it makes it so that you really just have to have a Genesis, not a slew of habitats to get all the different things.
All right. So what's the best way for us to start taking questions? Is it from the YouTube channel or is it from the Discord channel?
Yeah. So we've been collecting a bunch. You guys, I'll just send it in our chat so you have where they're collating. But yes, you could take them live if you want to take them off of YouTube.
Let's do one from Discord and then one from like the YouTube live chat.
Cool. So the Discord ones I've been collecting. Shout out to EU community master. We'll start with key token questions. We have a few categories: key token questions, some gene questions, Litepaper questions, game development, things about habitats, and like random stuff. Let's do key token because key token launch is coming up on Monday. Everyone probably has that most burning desire to ask for. Okay, future plans for buyback and burn systems for key to maintain circulating supply. I think Albert has opinions on buyback and burn.
Well, buyback and burn will be so. We think with what we currently have with crafting coming up, nurture, and all the mechanisms, burn mechanisms that we've built into this game, we don't need to do buyback and burn at this point. Buyback and burn is not the most capital efficient way of spending fees or whatever, but it is something that we could use as like a last like a final tool if we need it. So that's that's TBD.
Yeah, and I think the goal is to maintain supply, and if you can maintain a stable supply by creating a fun game where people want to burn key token to get stuff, I think that's the goal, rather than having to resort to just burning token to burn it. And you guys that have been following closely, you've seen all the different things you can do with key token. And it's one of the biggest criticisms most play-to-earn games have today, is that there's nothing actually to do with the token. But upgrading, evolving, customizing, crafting, doing all the things you're going to want to do to play with and nurture and grow your pet will all be key token. So yeah, stay tuned there for more on the crafting side. Thank you, Albert. Max cap for buying key. Is there a chance for a whale to buy a large amount of key during the launch and sell it at the time of listing?
Well, that's the thing, right? Like we're using an LBC, so the slippage, if the whale buys a lot in one go, they'll drive the price up. So it almost is not really that worth it for them. So that mechanism by itself allows for smaller buys. Now, if somebody just is super bullish on key and simply doesn't care, yeah, they could theoretically do that. But I think this mechanism prevents most behaviors like that.
Yeah, maybe worth digging in a little bit more to how the dynamic pricing works, how successful it was for water. If you want to speak to that too, Albert.
I'm sorry?
To how the dynamic pricing works, how the curve works. I know we're gonna do an AMA with Strata actually next week, so you can get into this more. But after what we saw with the water crystal sale.
Yeah, it's a liquidity bootstrapping curve. It's similar to a liquidity bootstrapping pool on Balancer and on a lot of Ethereum chains. And the reason why it was invented was that to start any kind of decentralized liquidity, you need to bootstrap the pool. And this is a way where you can get the pool price starting from very high, and it goes down, and as people buy in, or not, the price kind of meets price discovery that way. The better thing about the way that LBC works compared to a regular Dutch auction is that if there's a lot of demand, the price actually goes up. So you never know where price is going to end up. And in a good LBC, it could go past the starting price, or it could end up way below the starting price.
Yeah, and I think what we saw with water last week was a good indication of just like how the community's participation can really drive that.
Yeah. The water one was interesting, right? Because for the first few hours, it was really slow. It looked like it was never going to sell out, but that's exactly how Dutch auctions work. You see it start from like the curve looks like this. It goes down, hits some kind of bottom, slowly comes back up, and then boom. The last batch got cleaned out really fast.
Awesome. Let's do a fun one, only because I just saw it come in the chat. We used to talk about nanobots that would.
I wanted to do that one too. Geno Chica.
I know, right? Okay, this is definitely a better question.
Yeah. Oh man, I feel like a TV show. This is awesome.
What's happening with the nanobots? Are we gonna redo mechanics? What are the mechanics of nanobots?
That's all Ben.
So nanobots we didn't change or redo the mechanics of the nanobots. That will be all I can say at this point is that will be something that will come into play more towards when world exists. So when we get to world phase, you'll be dealing with nanobots. But right now, we just have to get you to a place where you can take care of your pet and grow it, battle with other Genopets. And then when you go into the world, you'll have to deal with that. So no change, nice. But just not yet.
I'm going to speed round a couple of these things. Definitely a video is going to be posted. It's on our YouTube already. The video will be there so you can see it afterwards. Baby pets, you will get your first baby pet free. In theory, baby pets after that can also be free, but you're not going to let people like stack a ton of baby pets because that's just counterproductive. You will be able to withdraw that baby pet at some point once it's leveled up from the app to mint it and sell it. That's the whole like free to play and earn loop. Is there more on that you want to speak to, Albert?
Yeah, because people have been asking that in Discords for like a few weeks now, and I've been jumping in and answering from time to time. Right now, we just don't want oversupply of babies, but in the near future, we'll enable new babies after you withdraw and sell it. But as of now, every account can only mint one baby. And
you'll have to level it up before you can withdraw it, so that you don't just pull the baby out.
Yeah. And another question here was that, is there buy tax for key in the auction? No, there is not. There's zero tax. Yeah, that's the 4 question mark. That's the one.
Well, that and again, the proceeds from the key token launch go straight to liquidity. So it's not a tax. We're not trying to like use this as a fundraising event. Cool. I'm gonna go back to the Discord questions that came in earlier. On the official website, it says you can earn key in battle. Is that old information?
I wouldn't say that's old information per se. There's it's probably more going to be earning energy. That's one, but there may be like on-chain battle experiences made by third parties, similar to what we see with Chapter X, where you can wager your key. So we're open to those kind of experiences as well. I think somebody earlier asked like, what is that thing you showed? Because I don't think like maybe they came late and then didn't see what that was. But what it is why we are in this industry and why we're so bullish on Web3 gaming is the idea that your assets can be, it's on chain and you can be entered into different experiences. So the Chapter X thing that Ben was showing was just one of the experiences in which your leveled up Genopet can go in and explore and hang out with other people. So that's kind of a segue to that question. But like, if you want to know if you can earn key in battle, stay tuned. I think there will be partnerships where that will allow that.
Ben, do you want to tell us? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to double tap on that a little bit. It's, effectively you should think about energy in the game as key that's off chain, and the key that you earn in the game you'll be able to withdraw. The energy that you earn in the game you'll be able to withdraw as key. So you'd be wanting to battle around that energy, because that energy you'll be able to later withdraw as key. So that's when you are battling in the game, you're battling for what you can convert into key. So you understand that.
Awesome.
What's the question you wanted me to talk about?
There's a fun one actually. Like, which habitat is more rare? Is the quantity of
that's
pollen?
What I was gonna say. Yeah, because I'm always like all the little like leaves and flowers and things that get placed, which is freaking epic, right? Like, it's all
yes, if it has more than 2 leaves,
unique, like, but they are, right? If somebody technically wanted to go count it, you could be like, this habitat has better placed flowers than this habitat, and its structure is in like a more optimum location. But you guys can talk about that one.
Can you imagine if we did that? That'd be crazy. But what's even crazier is that our community is so awesome that you guys would actually go and like count the number of leaves in a habitat if we said it was worth more.
Right?
You guys are so cool.
I would take this all the way back to the Genesis Pets. When the Genesis Pets are minted, similar thing. The way you answer the questions in the personality quiz was used to dictate some of the attributes that your pet had. Everybody figured out that, like, depending on your left, right, you can end up with certain colors. And that ended up with a bunch of black pets because everyone wanted black ones. And all of a sudden, the black ones weren't the most rare. Now, from a game design perspective, the color of your pet doesn't necessarily make it better or worse in Genopets, right? Like, there will be attributes of pet that matter, but you guys stop me here. But like, color, for example, is not necessarily one of them that makes it better than another. It's more of a visual characteristic that people like. So it's one of those things where, like, when the mint is controlled by the players and what people do in the game, like, ultimately you decide what is quote unquote rare. Similarly, for the elements of the habitats, I think it ended up pretty evenly. But some people were looking at, is water, are there more waters than earths, or et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, to answer that question, essentially, rarity is not necessarily a function that we determine. The only thing that we determine is how many Genesis habitats there are and how many Genesis Genopets there are within the class of Genesis habitats and class of Genesis Genopets. That's really up to how you guys mint them, because we leave it up to be procedurally generated. And so over time, the rarity of what's available will change given what people put on the market. And that's really the best answer we can give you.
Yeah. So right now, if you're thinking about buying a Genesis pet or a Genesis habitat, ultimately just buy the one you think that looks coolest and you like, because they pretty much have the same in-game advantages. Yes, there may be some attribute disparity between them, but I think honestly it's more important that you have an NFT that you're excited for and that you care about than, does mine have like one more antler than the other guys? Because there are some Genesis Genopets that have less attributes than others, if you wanted to find what was more rare. Cool. Next question. What else?
Do we have more from Discord?
Yeah, I'm pulling up Discord questions right now. Let's do some game ones. People have been asking a lot about wearables. Wearables keeps coming up. I know on the iOS side, wearables, pretty straightforward if it's going into Apple Health. Do you want to touch on Android and what's going on there at all, Albert?
I mean, yeah, wearables are coming next. Cheat detection is a little harder to do with wearables, so we are testing internally until we can get those sorted out. But they are definitely, yeah.
And which devices are you looking at? Probably support.
Yeah, I mean, most. We had you guys vote on like the top 5, so we're looking at a top 10 based on.
Oh, that's true. There was a poll in Discord a while back for wearable devices. Okay, we'll pull that up and people can find it in Discord again.
a lot of questions. So.
I know. Do you want to talk a little bit about cheating? I know cheating is something everybody always talks about from the beginning.
Yeah.
There's a few different ways that,
Yeah, we're collecting a lot of data, and we actually have an internal like pedometer tracker service that can detect whether somebody's using one of those cheating toys. And at the same time, we're using just data analysis to see if people are exceeding like steps per minute. That's beyond the norm. So a lot of like some people have asked about like, oh, what about these people who are taking like 80,000 plus steps, like 300,000 steps a day? Like, what are we going to do about them? Well, first off, we're still in beta, so a lot of people are doing this on purpose and reporting to us, and we're talking to each and one of them about how those are achieved and fixing the bugs behind them and getting the data behind it. Now, so when the game is actually live, if that does happen, number one, they will be banned, and number two, even for a short period of time that they're not, the step efficiency formula kicks in, right? So then, even if they have 300,000 steps, it's no better than somebody who has like, I don't know, 30,000 steps. So, in general, as far as the game economy goes, it's not going to have a huge impact, regardless.
yeah. No, I think from the very beginning, when everyone was asking us about cheating since like last summer when we first made up this move to earn thing, they're like, if you're going to make a game based on steps, how are you going to stop people from cheating? I think there's a bunch of different ways, both on the technical side, but I think what Albert said at the end there is what I think makes the most common sense, is just to design the game where people don't have to cheat in order to get ahead, and it just won't make sense for you to want to try and figure out how to get 500,000 steps because the game's not going to reward you for doing so. This isn't a simple walk around get token like equation. The more you walk does not mean the more you get, which I think we've seen kind of different ways that can play out. But we want to design a game that anybody can be successful at just by staying active and staying consistent. That's the whole concept around banking your steps and why people have to bank every day. We would much rather we get millions of people be able to take 10,000 steps a day or 5,000 steps a day than try and reward marathon runners or people that obviously choose.
All right, so there's another question here that I think two people asked. Can we highlight this one? By Entertainment Hub, is it necessary to refine crystals per day? Can I refine them? No, not this one, but okay. Yeah. Yeah. So another person asked a similar question. So I guess no right now, because you repair a habitat in your own leisure. So then, yeah, you can potentially save up for days. And when your habitat's lifespan or health drops to 1 day, then you can use up all your durability. But the thing is, you have to make sure that you're refining. You can't, like, the crystals that you can refine is still 1 day max. Once a day max if you have a L1 or L2 or L3. But you can technically buy like 90 crystals in 1 day and just repair your habitat, and you get back all your lifespan. So yeah, and that hopefully that answers Chica's question as well. Yes, you do need to feed the crystal to your habitat to extend its life. We call it repairing. And somebody wants to see my hairstyle. I'm sorry I didn't do my hair today.
Albert always has a hat on. I don't even know what Albert's hair looks like.
I think there's I think there's some
people think I'm bald,
here.
But I'm not.
I think it's worth explaining the difference between gene, or actually lack of difference between gene and sGENE. I think there seems to be a bit of confusion about that. I think we should clear that up.
Yeah, is there
sGENE is not? Yeah, there was one down there. And this also, in part, answers Roz's question about whether gene has more uses. So, in short, and Albert can expand on this a bit, but like sGENE is another form of gene. It's a staked gene that you can, because you've staked it, you can use it in game for its in-game purposes. So when you stake your gene, you can either stake it so that you can withdraw gene at a later date with the bonus, or you can stake it and be able to use it immediately in game as sGENE. And why would you want to do that? Because in the game, there are many uses for gene once we release crafting and many other
Well,
features.
for terraforming new habitats, you'll need it. So you can use sGENE for anywhere you use gene in the game.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, someone.
So
the related question is around the specific use of sGENE, right?
Well, this is a very thoughtful question because the specific reason for having sGENE is to control future supply and inflation of it. Yes, technically speaking, yes, it results in better buying pressure if you don't have sGENE. However, it's a whole game theory like puzzle that we're playing here, right? So like if you don't make sGENE, but you just have people use gene, then there's no staking, right? Then there's no incentive for staking. So then you kind of have this push and pull pressure. There's no one correct answer to this, but I believe we outlined this in our Litepaper, citing our inspirations, and I believe this is currently the best way of doing both staking and also removing future supply of gene, which results in the same thing in the long term. Yeah, we have. Oh, okay. I think you asks a good question. I just want to reiterate that it's like are all Genesis parts unique to Genesis? Only a tattoo are limited Genesis. The answer is, and Ben can back me up on this, all Genesis augments are unique to Genesis. So what are augments? Anything but head and body. Only
consider
Genesis.
Yourself.
Yes.
You are backed up.
You are backed up. Okay, let's talk about habitats for a minute, because I think habitat management is a really important one. We did talk about key quite a bit, and the key you're going to be getting. I think it should be resoundingly clear to everybody that having a habitat is that like primary yield generating asset, the thing that gives you the ability to craft and do all the stuff in the game. The question that came in is more about the rental system. Everyone's been talking about rental systems in their games, what they're going to do with renting. We're really excited to be one of the first to be able to support that. Albert, on the rental side of things, eviction, when people are evicting or setting up their rental, like how does it work where like the tenant and landlord are protected? Like, how do you evict somebody?
There's two ways to rent. There's one way where the landlord just assigns you as a tenant, and then there's another where we'll have an open market where you can pick out habitats where landlords are like, okay, this is available for the open market to rent. Either way, within the rental agreement itself, there will be a few parameters, right? The settings, if you will. Number one is how much the rent is, how often it's due, and what the grace period is. Now, the grace period is an important part because you may be technically savvy and you can use like Zebek or any kind of token streaming service to stream your tokens to the renter, to the landlord, but not everybody knows how to do it. So you'll have to pay rent directly on the platform. And now if you pay rent late, we don't want you to be evicted immediately. So there's this concept of a grace period. Now we'll default it to a week. So then you'll have a week after your rent is due to pay your rent. And then as soon as your rent is paid and it's active for the next rent period, the landlord cannot evict you for any reason until the grace period has passed. Now, however, what the landlord can do is they can raise the rent for the next rent period. So then you can see, oh, like if I want to renew this, it's going to cost me like, let's say 100 more key per week. Then in that case, I don't want to pay, and I will just remove myself from the rental agreement.
Awesome. There's also questions around dormant habitats. Is a dormant habitat still able to be used as a sub habitat to increase your key? No, right? When you're dormant, you don't get anything from the habitat.
Dormant, you don't get anything. And will you be charged a penalty for being late with payments? No.
That's good too.
You just simply lose access.
The other thing that a lot of people are asking about is the guild habitats. Yes, we have a large amount of guilds that we've partnered with from day one. I know there's a lot of mixed feelings around the way the guild ecosystem works. We've designed a marketplace game from the start. It's not a farming game where people are expected to be making tons of money off of the key they earn every day. In fact, that's the number one way that games fail and why we started as a crafting game from the start. the real reason why we wanted to get a lot of commitment from guilds early on is a strong signal of people that are willing to be on the sell side. If we're going to make a marketplace game with thousands of items that people are buying and selling to each other, we needed to lock in the sell side. And the guilds are great partners of ours. They see a lot of sustainability in the way that we're designing this game. I don't think any of the guilds that we've signed up think of us as a farming opportunity. In fact, every time we've adjusted the mechanics around the game, they're like, wow, you're making it more fun or more difficult. But yeah, we're wrapping up now, but I just wanted to emphasize that like the guilds that are getting habitats that participated in the private sale have their own collection. It's not regular habitats. They're not going to touch the floor of everyone else. It's a guild collection of habitats, so don't worry about that. It's just like how Genesis habitats have their own collection too. Yeah, I saw that one come up a lot in Discord, and I've been personally working a lot with all of the guilds. You guys are gonna have to take a bit of my word for it there, but yeah, we're in good alignment with the incentives there and why they're here to play the game. I was just hanging out with Brendan from Avocado Consensus last week, and they're really excited to bring players into. Cool. Do you guys want to take a last one, or are we gonna wrap up?
Give Kevin a last one.
Yeah, Kevin.
Okay, you know what we should do as the last one? And this guy's really annoying and spamming in the channel. If I find you on Discord, I'm gonna kick you. Handy help guide, like, or Albert will, because he likes to do that more than me. Like, obviously, we need to talk about when the public launch is. Stop spamming the channel. Like, we've shared the roadmap of what's happening next. We're gonna launch Key on Monday. After Key launches, we're gonna roll out the habitat management system. At that point, you will also see your habitats in the game. Everyone's super excited to see their Genopet dancing around their habitat. And of course, once the habitat management system is out, you will be able to harvest Key. So when is Move to Earn? Move to Earn is when the habitat management system rolls out. When is that happening? I don't have a date yet, but if I did tell you, you will all be the first to know as soon as we are ready to pin an exact date on it. But guys, there's one more step here. You've been waiting this long. Don't worry, you'll be the first to know.
Acid made this question. I think it'd be a good one to end on. We are 100% in stables. We are prepared.
The greatest update of all.
The greatest update of all. 100% stable stables, not the questionable stables.
Yep.
And with that, we'll see you next time. Guys, Key Token launch on Monday. Be there. Don't forget, you got like, I don't know, 24-ish hours to stake your gene. If you want to get in on the airdrop, probably less than that. Go check the timing. 18th at like 12 a.m. UTC. Habitat minting also ends on Monday before Key Token launch. So if you want your Genesis habitat, go get some crystals. And yeah, we'll see you on next time. We got a bunch of AMAs coming up next week. So you guys want to hear from me or anyone else? We'll see you online.